saying.
Exactly.
She ain't said nothing bad about it no more.
Yeah.
I ain't understand because I didn't know he was a little gangster. And he laid back. And talent-wise, when I see him in the studio, he remind me like a young dog. All right. Big laugh. How you doing? Big got the whole family.
Man, this whole Birdman and NBA YoungBoy situation is getting real strange. Like it went from just another music collab to something that's got the whole internet side-eyeing. Out of nowhere, Charleston White jumped in throwing wild shots at Birdman, and this time people are actually listening.
They just stopped fighting and killing each other between YB, Dirk, King Von, Rondo, and all. They just stopped killing 2 years ago. And the fans was beefing and fighting amongst it. So all of a sudden you telling me it's kumbaya now? If that was the case, all of these trained law enforcement agencies wouldn't be on eggshells right now if that was the case.
The way he's talking, it's not just about business or music anymore. He's hinting that there's something way deeper, something straight up unsettling about the way Birdman keeps surrounding himself with these super young rappers. And guess what? Folks online are starting to whisper the same thing. It's like everyone suddenly woke up and started connecting dots they ignored before.
Man, that's say, homie, that nigga thorough. He's still blooding it. Bandana out the back pocket, still looking like the man. Ain't nobody saying, Birdman, you looking like a young. So I don't want to hear that young. If you can play, you.
NBA YoungBoy, bro, that shit ain't no, that shit ain't normal. Nah, he not normal. He's special. Big money right there, brother. I think he's $1 billion nigga.
Now, don't get it twisted. Nobody's saying Charleston White is a saint. The man lives for controversy and chaos, but the tone he's using this time, it's different. It doesn't sound like trolling for clicks. It sounds like he hit a nerve, one that the industry's been working overtime to hide. And if you've been keeping tabs on all this drama, you know this ain't the first time someone's looked at Birdman sideways. Every few years, somebody pops up with questions, and somehow the story gets buried. Until now, something's brewing and people can feel it in the air. Birdman's so-called father figure act is starting to look real questionable. Remember that infamous Lil Wayne kiss? Yeah, people still haven't forgotten that. So here's where things get messy. Charleston White's been wild and lately clowning NBA YoungBoy nonstop. He's been calling him too emotional, saying he's acting like he's too real for this new generation. At first, everyone thought it was just Charleston doing what he always does, running his mouth for clicks and chaos. But then, out of nowhere, he switched targets and went straight for Birdman's neck. He started hinting that Birdman's not the sweet fatherly mentor the industry paints him as, but more like a puppet master pulling strings behind the scenes. He even mocked Birdman's "you looking like a young, so I don't want to hear that young" moment, throwing shade in every direction. Charleston claimed that the same kind of control Birdman had over Lil Wayne back in the day might be what's happening again with these new, younger rappers. And when you start piecing it together, it's hard not to see the pattern. Birdman's whole brand has always been family first, but maybe that family image was just another part of the hustle. Maybe it's not mentorship. Maybe it's manipulation disguised as love. People online are buzzing, saying things like, it's the same playbook, just new players. And honestly, looking at Birdman's history, it's starting to sound a little too believable. That whole family thing, that's Birdman's secret weapon and the way he keeps everybody loyal and silent. Think about it for a second. Every single young rapper that comes up under Birdman gets treated the exact same way. He calls them son, moves them into his world, showers them with talk about protection, legacy, guidance, the whole father figure act. Sounds heartwarming at first until it starts to fall apart. Because guess what? Something always goes wrong. We saw it with Lil Wayne when loyalty turned into lawsuits. We saw it with Young Thug when things started feeling off. And now it's happening all over again with NBA YoungBoy. Another Louisiana kid, another protege, another one calling Birdman Pops. It's like Birdman's been running the same exact playbook for decades. Find someone young, build them up, earn their trust, then slowly tighten the grip. Now, to be clear, nobody's saying it's grooming in the literal sense, but it is manipulation. It's emotional control dressed up as fatherly love. He makes these rappers feel safe, like he's the only one who really understands them, and then, boom, they realize they can't move without his say-so. Fans are waking up to it now. Old clips of Birdman and Lil Wayne are resurfacing, getting replayed frame by frame, and people are like, yo, how did we not see this before? The hugs, the kisses, the loyalty speeches, it all hits different when you realize there might have been more power than love in those moments. That old clip of Birdman and Lil Wayne kissing on the lips, yeah, it's back all over the internet, and this time it's got people looking at it way differently. What once seemed like a weird father-son moment doesn't look so innocent anymore. Back in the day, Birdman brushed it off saying, "That's my son, that's love." But come on now, Wayne was barely in his 20s and he'd been around Birdman since he was a kid. That kind of bond, it's complicated. And when you really think about the power dynamics, it stops feeling normal. Because this was never just about a kiss, it was about control. It's the way Birdman blurs the lines between being a mentor, a manager, and something else entirely. That mix of love and business, affection and authority, that's confusing. And now, watching him repeat the exact same energy with other artists, it's hard not to notice the pattern. It's not coincidence anymore, it's a formula. So let's talk about NBA YoungBoy, because this part, it's honestly hard to even say without feeling uneasy. When everything started crashing down for YoungBoy, the legal battles, the house arrest, the pressure, guess who showed up again? Birdman, like clockwork, the savior, the mentor, the same man who always seems to appear when a young rapper hits rock bottom. Birdman started calling YoungBoy the biggest rapper of this generation, hyping him up like he was passing down the torch. At first, it sounded supportive, even wholesome, until you realized how close they really got. Birdman wasn't just checking in, and he was flying out to Utah, living with YoungBoy for months, staying in his house day in and day out, acting more like a shadow than a mentor. Suddenly, YoungBoy wasn't just a student anymore. He was the son, and that's where it gets real strange, because every time Birdman gets that close to someone young and vulnerable, history somehow repeats itself, and that's exactly where things start to feel off, because let's be honest, Birdman's been in this game for decades. He knows how things look to the public, yet he still leans into it. Every interview, every post, and it's always, "That's my boy, that's my son, I'm proud of him." Like he wants the world to see him as this savior, the wise father figure who rescues lost artists from the streets. But here's the catch, the ones he saves always end up more alone than before. When Birdman moved in during that Utah period, everything about NBA YoungBoy changed overnight. The spontaneous IG lives, gone. The unfiltered interviews, gone. That raw energy that made him stand out, it vanished. Suddenly, every move, every post, every single word had to pass through Birdman's circle first. Fans started noticing how quiet things got, like YoungBoy had to ask for permission just to speak. It didn't look like mentorship anymore. It looked like management through control. The so-called price of protection seemed to be silence, because let's keep it real. You can't call it healing if the person loses their voice in the process. That's not guidance, that's control with a smile on it. And it's giving total deja vu. The same script we saw play out with Lil Wayne, the father figure storyline, the loyalty, the family promises, the soft-spoken control behind the curtain. Only this time, it feels heavier because YoungBoy isn't just another artist chasing fame. He's someone who wears his heart on his sleeve. You can see it in him. He's tired. He just wants peace. His kids, his music, a quiet life. But instead of freedom, it feels like he's living in another version of the same cage. Instead of letting NBA YoungBoy breathe and find his own rhythm, it's like Birdman's trying to rebuild him from the ground up, molding him into a version that fits his legacy, not YoungBoy's. So yeah, people can keep calling it mentorship if they want to, but when every so-called lesson comes with more restrictions and less freedom, that's not guidance anymore. That's ownership. And if that sounds familiar, that's because it is. Lil Wayne's story is basically the blueprint for everything happening right now. Wayne met Birdman when he was just 11 years old, literally a kid, and from that day on, he lived in Birdman's world. The fame, the fortune, the loyalty, it all came under Birdman's shadow. Wayne called him dad, trusted him completely, believed he was safe in that cash money family. For years, they were inseparable. The flashy cars, the matching tattoos, the music domination, they looked untouchable. But behind the scenes, the cracks were already forming. Wayne eventually started speaking up, saying his albums were being delayed, his money wasn't adding up, and his creative freedom was slipping away. That's when things exploded. Wayne sued Birdman for tens of millions, shocking everyone who thought their bond was unbreakable. And that lawsuit, it wasn't about greed, it was about control. Because imagine realizing that the same person who raised you, who taught you everything about the game, also owned you, your music, your masters, your name, your future. That's not love. That's a trap disguised as family. Wayne's heartbreak became the biggest wake-up call in hip-hop, showing that loyalty can turn into a leash real quick. Yeah, they eventually made peace, at least publicly. There were hugs, smiles, and a few staged moments to make it look good. But listen to Wayne now. That warmth is gone. He doesn't talk about Birdman like a father anymore, just like a business partner he has to tolerate. His tone is cold, distant, careful. The kind of tone you use with someone who once had the power to destroy everything you built. And that's what makes all this so eerie, because watching Birdman with YoungBoy feels like deja vu all over again. Same affection, same loyalty, same pattern, only this time fans are paying attention. And that's exactly why people are starting to worry about NBA YoungBoy. When you line everything up, the mentorship, the loyalty, the isolation, it's looking like the exact same story playing out all over again, just quieter this time. The moves are different, but the pattern, identical. And what really hits deep is that both YoungBoy and Lil Wayne were just kids when they got pulled into this powerful system that promised them protection but came with invisible chains. Both of them came from the struggle, fighting their way up from nothing. Both of them just wanted family, someone to trust, someone who had their back no matter what. And both of them thought they found that in Birdman and the man who said, "I got you, son." But that love came with a price tag. For Wayne, it meant losing control of his own art, watching his music get locked up behind contracts he didn't control. For YoungBoy, it looks like he's losing something even deeper, his peace. And that's what hurts the most. Because you can see it in both of them. No matter how much they've been burned, they still crave that loyalty. They still want to believe the man they called Pops really meant it. They keep forgiving, keep defending, keep protecting the same person who might have caused their pain in the first place. It's heartbreaking to watch and like seeing history repeat itself, only slower and sadder this time. And now, the whispers in the industry are getting louder. People are saying YoungBoy might be next in line to face that same fallout Wayne did. The pattern's right there in plain sight. Every time Birdman steps in as the father figure, the artist starts out shining. But slowly, everything gets quieter. Fewer interviews, fewer posts, fewer glimpses of the real person behind the fame. It's like their spark fades the closer they get to him. Insiders are starting to talk too. Some claim Birdman's been handling everything behind the curtain. The management decisions, the music releases, even which people get close to YoungBoy. It's given major deja vu. Remember how Wayne said his freedom started disappearing little by little? Fans are saying the same thing's happening again, just modernized, more private, more subtle. And honestly, it's wild because Birdman knows exactly how this looks. He's not new to controversy, not new to public suspicion, but instead of stepping back, he doubles down. He still posts about loyalty, still calls these rappers his sons, still plays the role of the untouchable mentor who built legends. But behind that slick smile, people can't help but wonder, what's really going on? Because if there's one thing we've learned from the Wayne saga, it's that when Birdman gets too close, there's always fallout waiting down the line. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sooner or later someone always speaks up and the truth starts leaking out piece by piece. And if that happens again with YoungBoy, oh, the internet's gonna explode. And lately fans have been catching little clues that something's shifting behind the scenes. YoungBoy's energy isn't the same. The fire, the chaos, the raw emotion that made him unpredictable. It's like it's been toned down, polished, managed. People are saying Birdman's got him playing a long game, shaping him into a version that fits the cash money legacy instead of letting him be himself. And that's what's got everyone uneasy. There's even talk that Birdman's been whispering to insiders about a new era and how YoungBoy's supposed to carry the torch. But the question is, at what cost? Because history shows every artist who becomes part of Birdman's empire eventually faces the same choice. Stay loyal and lose control, or break free and risk it all. And knowing how emotional and loyal YoungBoy is, that choice could destroy him inside. People close to the situation claim that Birdman's been isolating YoungBoy, limiting who he talks to and filtering what makes it to the public. The same father figure energy that once looked like protection now feels like possession. Fans are piecing it together on social media, comparing clips, analyzing interviews, and saying, this looks exactly like what happened with Wayne. It's crazy because YoungBoy is one of the few artists who wears his pain openly, and now it's like that pain's being muted. And while Birdman's out here acting like he's shaping another legend, the internet's starting to ask the real question, is he building them up or breaking them down in the process? Even when the proof is staring everyone right in the face, people still defend Birdman like he can do no wrong. But let's keep it real. That's not mentorship. That's emotional dependency. It's the reason this whole story feels so heavy, so uncomfortable. Because when power hides behind love, it becomes something darker, something that traps instead of teaches. Yeah, Charleston White might be loud, reckless, and straight up messy at times, but he said what so many people in the industry are too scared to whisper. That Birdman's whole father figure act might look like mentorship on the outside, but underneath it's pure control, plain and simple. He builds these artists up, wraps them in loyalty, and then keeps them right where he wants them, close enough to shine, but never free enough to fly. And if you've been paying attention, you can see it happening all over again. The cycle's too clear to ignore now. Lil Wayne got out, but not without scars that never healed. YoungBoy's still caught in the middle, trying to find peace while the same pattern closes in around him. Nobody knows how his story will end, but fans are bracing themselves because they've seen this movie before. At some point, we've got to stop calling it coincidence when the same man keeps showing up in the same kind of stories. Maybe it's not random anymore. Maybe it's not just a pattern. Maybe it's a plan. And if you don't want to miss what unfolds next, make sure you hit that subscribe button to Juicy Real, because trust me, this story's just getting started.
Demand my address. I'm not expecting y'all to really give a about me. What I am asking about is my child.
Do I know where you live?
Well, of course you don't come. So
Exactly.
my
So
thing,
how would I
I know
give
where
it
you
to
live because I put down your down payment.
Beautiful.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years on my credit cards. And help
But
me.
what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't? You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them
Oh,
a few times.
Who? What man?
You not get the lead.
Oh, dirty low down ass bitch.
Oh, you're such a liar.
Oh,
Such a liar.
Man, he said he to one.
You know that's a lie.
I swear to
You know
God.
that's a lie. Which card are you trying
I swear. Your man for? You think I too? Don't you?
Tomorrow. Girl, what was that? Why are you wiping sweat off Birdman's head like you his personal assistant? If it was about support, you should have been in the audience, not up there, acting like his hype woman. Baby, that was too much, especially after all those recent rumors swirling that y'all been sleeping together. People are talking and they ain't whispering either. Could Birdman actually be the same ex that Tawanda once accused Tamar of sneaking around with? Because if that's true, who?
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have...
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust
Because you
her.
bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes,
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
she my life.
The drama is about to hit a whole new level. And wait, why are we just now finding out that Tamar and Birdman may have had something going on way back in the day? And to make it even wilder, Birdman has allegedly responded to all this mess himself. If you thought this was already chaotic, buckle up, because this ride's about to spin out of control. So here's what went down. Birdman, Manny Fresh, and other Cash Money legends hit the stage to face off against Master P and the No Limit crew in a legendary versus battle. The whole showdown happened live in Las Vegas during Complex Con, and it was supposed to be all about the music, but oh no, the spotlight quickly shifted. See, Toni Braxton was nowhere to be found on that stage, but her sister Tamar. She was front and center, loud, proud, and turning up like she owned the mic. She wasn't just vibing, she was twerking, bouncing, and bopping her head like she forgot the cameras were rolling. But what really had folks' jaws dropping was how close she was getting to her so-called brother-in-law.
Babe, I was trying to go crazy. I wanted to
No,
call
the
him.
nigga was the #1 trending topic. I tried to tell him, I showed him. He don't know what that is. I'm like,
I don't know that.
bro, you the #1 trending topic in the world. Come on, Toni Braxton.
Girl, she thinks she's
Fishy
too
look
beautiful.
good, Fish.
Talk TV, stop. Stop,
Fishy
stop,
look
good.
stop acting like you are.
Too close. The energy was giving old flames reignited, not family support. The crowd saw it, the internet saw it, and now everyone's asking the same question. What's really going on between Tamar and Birdman? The internet went absolutely wild. Comments were flying left and right. People saying, there's no way on earth It was okay for Tamar to be up there, touching her brother-in-law like that, wiping sweat off his head like she's auditioning to be his stylist. Fans were heated, calling it out as straight up inappropriate. One user wrote, "This ain't family support. This is flirtation on stage."
My address. I'm not expecting y'all to really give a about me. What I am asking about is my child.
Do I know where you live?
Well, of course you don't come. So
Exactly.
my
So
thing,
how would I
I know
give
where
it
you
to
live because I put down your down payment.
Beautiful.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years on my credit cards. And help
But
me.
what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't? You sold men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them
Oh,
a few times.
Who? What man?
Do not get the lead.
Oh, dirty low down ass bitch.
Oh, you're
So
such
now
a
you
liar.
think
Such
my
a
sister's
liar.
man, he said he someone.
You know that's a lie.
I swear
You
to
know
God.
that's a lie.
I
Which
swear.
God are you trying to?
I swear. Your man for? You think I too?
Don't you?
Don't you?
And honestly, the clip didn't help her case one bit. But before we dive too deep, let's rewind and get one thing straight. There's definitely a real connection between Birdman and Toni Braxton. Not just some casual fling either. We're talking about a whole public engagement. When they started dating back in 2015, both of them openly talked about the idea of getting married. It wasn't some secret situationship. They were serious. But for some reason, that wedding never seemed to happen. Toni later claimed they kept pushing the date because of work commitments. Girl, please. Fans weren't buying that for a second. Let's be honest. If she really wanted to marry the man, she could have made it happen. Something about that excuse just didn't sit right. Anyway, Birdman did eventually pop the question. And Toni even posted photos to prove it. One was captioned, "A couple minutes before we got engaged," and fans lost it. Within 24 hours, another picture surfaced, showing them hugged up tight, Toni proudly flashing a massive diamond ring that could blind the haters. Birdman wasn't shy either. He hit the Wendy Williams show and poured his heart out like a man in love. He called Toni his love, his soldier, his life, his everything, and said he loved her to death. That man sounded like he was ready to risk it all.
But there's no date.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values and we were going through a little drama. And I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all the sisters together.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get us all together. And I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
He calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle. Yeah.
Set a date.
He said before the year's out, so I have, what, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
So he's 45, you're 51. I'm
He's 49.
49.
So now that Tamar's on stage wiping sweat off his forehead, you can imagine how fans are losing their minds trying to figure out where the loyalty really stands. Toni eventually opened up about the whole engagement drama herself, and what she said just added more layers to the story. She revealed that they actually had wedding dates lined up, not one, but two. Can you believe that? But according to Toni, things got complicated because they were filming Braxton Family Values. And of course, there was drama brewing behind the scenes. She said the wedding would have been a perfect way to bring all her sisters together. Sounds sweet, right? Except that reunion never happened. Apparently, Toni just couldn't get her sisters on the same page. The family tension was real. And before anyone could even pick bridesmaid dresses, everything started falling apart. Then boom, out of nowhere, in 2019, Birdman dropped a bombshell on Instagram with one simple, cold message. It's over. That was it. No explanation, no emotion, just 2 words that broke the internet. And to make it even more final, he deleted every photo of Toni from his page like she never existed. Toni didn't stay silent either. She came back swinging with a stunning picture of herself in a red gown and the caption, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen." Cheers to a new year. That message screamed independence and heartbreak all at once. Fans were split. Some thought she was done for good, while others swore it was just another lover's spat. And wouldn't you know it, weeks later, the two were spotted back together, reunited on stage during Toni's Atlanta tour stop at the legendary Fox Theater. The chemistry was still there, and the crowd went crazy seeing them side by side again. But fast forward to December 2023, and Tony shut down the wedding rumors once more, posting a blunt hashtag, #fake news. So what's the truth now? Nobody really knows, but the back and forth love story has people glued to every move. Tony finally cleared the air, or at least she tried to. She went online and posted, "My dear friend, Birdman and I are not married, never been married. We are both single, honey." She said it with confidence, like she was done with all the speculation. But baby, not even a week later, a bombshell dropped that turned everything upside down. Because guess what? Court documents surfaced showing that Tony and Birdman actually did get married, and then split just 48 hours later. What? The papers used only their initials, TB and BW. But it didn't take a detective to figure out who that was. Fans and blogs connected the dots instantly. The secret was out. According to those same court filings, the two secretly tied the knot on August 8th, 2024. But by August 10th, it was over. 2 days and done. That's one of the shortest celebrity marriages in recent history. And to make things even more dramatic, Tony officially filed for divorce just 2 weeks later, citing that the marriage was irretrievably broken. That's lawyer talk for this relationship is beyond saving. But hold on. Just when everyone thought it was truly over, another twist hit the timeline. In January 2025, Tony suddenly dismissed the divorce petition. Yup, she took it back, and Birdman signed off on it too, meaning that legally, they're still husband and wife. You can't make this up. So as it stands right now, they're technically still married, even though nobody really knows what's going on behind the scenes. And thanks to Tamar's latest messy on-stage moment, we just learned that Birdman and Tony might still be together. Word on the street is, when Tony isn't around, Tamar's been stepping in a little too close for comfort. The whole situation's messy, complicated, and just getting started. So here's where it gets even messier. Tamar decided to clap back. She wasn't staying quiet while the internet tore her apart. After people kept dragging her for wiping sweat off Birdman's bald head, she fired back at a fan on X, formerly Twitter, who asked why she was even on stage with her sister's man. Tamar shot right back, saying, "'Cause she couldn't be here and she love her, so I'ma hold it down for her and my brother." That was her story. She was just showing love and support, but fans weren't convinced. Apparently, while all this was happening at the event, Birdman actually FaceTimed Tony in real time. Tony was at home, cool as ever, rocking some sleek shades and a black turtleneck, lounging like a queen in what looked like pure luxury. Tamar jumped on the call all excited, hyping Birdman up and gushing about how great the show was. She even told Tony that the Cash Money Versus, No Limit Versus, was the biggest show ever. And Tony? She played it smooth as always. With a calm smile, she said, "Oh, I would think so." Of course it was, like nothing in the world could shake her. Meanwhile, fans were analyzing every second of that interaction, trying to figure out if Tony's cool demeanor meant she didn't care, or if she knew something the rest of us didn't. Tamar even pointed out that the stunning house Tony was sitting in was the big, beautiful home Birdman bought for her. That line alone sent social media into chaos. People started saying Tamar was doing way too much, praising the man, FaceTiming his wife, and still playing sidekick on stage. The optics were bad, and fans made sure to say it loud. Even after all her explanations, most people still thought the whole thing was off. They said, no matter what Tamar claimed, it was weird. Straight up weird. For her to be that close to Birdman on stage, especially when rumors were already flying that she'd hooked up with him days before. The internet might forget a lot of things, but that sweat-wiping moment, that's one they're never letting go. Let's rewind for a second, because this family tension didn't start on that Vegas stage. Longtime fans of Braxton family values already know the drama runs deep. During one episode, Tawanda Braxton straight up accused Tamar of sleeping with one of Tony's ex-boyfriends. The producers tried to be slick and bleeped out the name, but come on, fans aren't slow. The internet instantly lit up with guesses, and almost everyone pointed straight at Birdman. After all, he's Tony's most high-profile ex, and the timeline just made too much sense. But that's not all. Reports have been swirling for a while that Tony and Tamar's relationship hasn't exactly been picture perfect. Word on the street is they've had some serious issues behind the scenes. The real shocker came when Tony apparently realized she had been blocked by her own sister. On Tamar's birthday of all days. That's wild. Tony herself confirmed it with a little shade on social media, posting, "I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tae-Hugh." That's the kind of message that says a lot without saying too much. Fans immediately started speculating that this was deeper than a simple misunderstanding, like what really happened between them. Tamar, of course, didn't let that slide. She fired back, calling the whole thing pure gaslighting. She said Tony could have just picked up the phone and called her if she really wanted to talk. Then to prove her point, Tamar posted screenshots of a text thread between her and Tony on her Instagram story, showing they had literally been texting just the day before. In the messages, the two sisters were trying to figure out which city the other was in, so it's clear they were communicating. So now fans are even more confused. Are they close? Are they beefing? Or are they playing nice for the cameras while secretly fuming behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, this Braxton family saga keeps twisting, turning, and spilling more tea than anyone can sip in one sitting. Let's take a minute to focus on Birdman, because his reaction said a lot. While the internet was freaking out over Tamar being all touchy on stage, Birdman looked completely unbothered. In fact, he looked like he was enjoying every single second of it. The man was grinning, vibing, and didn't even try to step back. That right there had everyone wondering, was this really just innocent family energy, or was something else bubbling under the surface? See, this is where the real tea starts spilling. Word on the street is that Tamar and Birdman allegedly dated way back in the early 2000s, long before Tony ever came into the picture. Yup, you heard that right. Those close to the industry have whispered about it for years, saying Tamar and Birdman were real close. We're talking late-night studio sessions, phone calls that went past midnight, and surprise appearances at each other's events. That kind of close. Now, nothing was ever confirmed publicly, but people who were around at the time said the chemistry between them was undeniable. According to the whispers, the romance fizzled out quietly, but the friendship stayed. Fast forward 2 decades later, and suddenly, they're back on stage together, dancing, laughing, and looking just a little too comfortable for folks to believe it's all innocent. The tension was giving more than music. And maybe, just maybe, that's why Tamar didn't see anything wrong with her actions. To her, it might have felt like harmless fun. Old vibes resurfacing, familiar energy that just came naturally in the moment. You know how it is when you got history with someone. That spark never really disappears. It just hides for a while. Then one night, under the lights, it sneaks right back out without you even realizing how it looks. Fans caught it instantly though. And now everyone's side-eyeing this so-called family bond. Like, girl, are you sure it's just that? Now here's where things get really wild. After that, Versus Night went viral, fans started digging deeper. And what they found had everyone's jaws on the floor. Old interviews, throwback photos, and even archive posts started resurfacing, showing Tamar and Birdman being a little too friendly over the years. One clip from an early 2000s event showed them whispering and laughing in the corner, looking mighty cozy. People began connecting dots that had been sitting there all along. Like, how did we all miss this for so long? Suddenly, social media was split into 2 camps. Team, it's just family, and team, something ain't adding up. The family side swore Tamar was just being supportive, pointing out that she's always been loud, expressive, and full of energy on stage. But the other side, they weren't buying it for a second. One fan wrote, "You don't wipe sweat off your sister's man like that unless y'all got history." And honestly, they had a point. As more receipts popped up, fans even noticed that Tamar had dropped flirty comments under some of Birdman's old posts before deleting them later. Nothing too wild, just enough to make people say, And let's not forget that Birdman hasn't exactly rushed to shut the rumors down either. His silence, that's been fueling the flames. Because in celebrity land, silence speaks volumes. Meanwhile, Tony's been keeping it classy. No direct responses, no shade posts. Just pure silence. But insiders claim she's not happy about how things are looking, especially with her name being dragged into yet another messy headline. Some even say this whole thing could be the final straw between her and Tamar if it keeps escalating. At this point, the internet's eating this story up like a reality show we didn't know we were watching. Every clip, every like, every facial expression is being replayed and dissected. And with Tamar doubling down on her nothing happened defense, fans are still side-eyeing hard. Because let's be honest, when body language says one thing and the receipts say another, the truth usually isn't too far behind. The fallout from all this has been absolutely explosive. Social media is still buzzing. Blogs are milking the story like it's breaking news every hour. And fans can't stop arguing about what really went down between Tamar, Tony, and Birdman. You've got Twitter threads running 20 posts deep, TikTok detectives zooming in on clips frame by frame, and Instagram pages turning into full-blown investigation boards. It's chaos, a delicious, messy chaos. People are digging up every moment from the Braxton Family Values archives, saying the signs were always there. Some pointed out how Tamar used to get defensive whenever Birdman's name came up, while Tony always seemed too calm, like a woman who already knew more than she let on. Others swear you can feel the tension between the sisters even in old interviews. The smiles look polite, but the eyes, they tell a different story. Now what's making this even juicier is that Birdman hasn't said a word. No interviews, no posts, no denials. Just pure silence. And that silence, it's making people think he's either guilty or playing it smart. Because every day he keeps quiet, the mystery grows. Meanwhile, Tamar's trying hard to laugh it off online, posting memes and motivational quotes like nothing happened, while fans flood her comments asking, "Sis, did you or didn't you?" Behind the scenes, word is, Tony's inner circle is not thrilled. Sources say she feels disrespected. Not just by the rumors, but by how public it's gotten. She's worked too hard to keep her image clean, and now all eyes are back on her love life for all the wrong reasons. And if that wasn't enough, Birdman's name keeps popping up in gossip blogs with other women too, making the situation even murkier. Fans are begging for answers, but right now, nobody's giving them. It's like a soap opera unfolding in real time. One post, one photo, one reaction at a time. The only question left is, will Tony finally speak up and shut the rumors down, or will the silence keep letting this fire burn hotter? Because honey, this saga is far from over. Yeah, that might just be what's really happening here. When you think about it, everything starts connecting in the wildest way, especially when you remember Tawanda once accused Tamar of hooking up with one of Tony's exes. Now that the Birdman rumors are back in full swing, it all feels a little too coincidental. Something about this whole situation just feels off. Either the Braxton sisters are about to drop the plot twist of the year, or this is one giant misunderstanding that's spinning completely out of control. But let's be real. With social media zooming in on every frame of that stage clip, every hand movement, every glance, nobody's buying the "it's innocent" story anymore. From the outside looking in, that moment didn't scream family love. It screamed something else. Fans are saying it didn't look innocent. Not one bit. And what's really unsettling people is the timeline. If Tamar really did date Birdman first, and then he went on a date and secretly marry her sister Tony, that's not just messy, that's downright awkward. It's left fans divided, confused, and glued to their screens, waiting for someone in the Braxton camp to break their silence. Because right now, it's a mystery that keeps twisting deeper. Family loyalty, old flames, and a love triangle that nobody saw coming. So what's the truth? Was it just a misunderstood moment between close friends? Or is there way more to this than the sisters are letting on? Either way, this story isn't cooling down anytime soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay locked in with Juicy Real, where we keep every scandal sizzling and every secret on blast. Birdman been wildin' lately? First, he straight up fell asleep on stage, in front of everybody. Can you imagine that? Cameras rolling, crowd watching, and boom, man's out cold. Then guess what? He pulled the same stunt again in another city. Like how you just nap mid-performance twice. People couldn't believe their eyes. And now the stunner man himself can't even make it through an interview without catching some serious Z's. It's crazy to see him dozing off mid-sentence like that. What's really going on with Birdman? Man, did you see that interview? The dude next to Birdman had to literally tap him, then almost kick him just to wake him up. It looked wild, like bro was gone to another dimension. People saying Birdman's starting to look like the black Joe Biden out here, just nodding off mid-conversation like he's in dreamland. Fans online losing their minds, wondering what's really happening behind the scenes. Rumors flying everywhere. Some folks claim he'd been messing with that strong stuff again. And ever since BG got out, they've been spotted together, looking a little too relaxed, if you know what I mean. People online even talking about BG reportedly falling asleep mid-sentence. And one clip supposedly shows him slobbering while dozing off. Man, this whole thing's turning into a viral circus. But it don't stop there. Lil Wayne got caught slipping too, forgetting his own lyrics on stage. Like how you forget your classics that made you millions. Fans were stunned watching him blank out like that. Folks saying all those years of wild nights and whatever came with him might finally be catching up to the crew. Now some people saying maybe Birdman ain't on no substances at all. Maybe it's health stuff. Maybe high blood sugar or even sleep issues got him crashing out mid-performance. Cause when your sugar drops or your body's off balance, boom, you out cold unless you get that quick fix, a medical hit. Either way, something's definitely not right, and the fans are watching every move, wondering if Birdman's just tired or if something deep is going down behind the scenes. Man, if you've fallen asleep on stage, during an interview, or even in the recording booth, your body's screaming for help. That's not normal at all. Some folks think Birdman might be dealing with something like narcolepsy, that sleep disorder that hits out of nowhere and makes you crash during the day. That could explain why he keeps dozing off mid-interview like it's nap time instead of showtime. But here's where it gets even wilder. Birdman out on tour right now with NBA YoungBoy, and we all know NBA been caught up in some heavy lifestyle choices himself. People whispering maybe it's that constant mix of stress, no rest, and overconsumption that's knocking Birdman out every time the cameras roll. And let's be real, Birdman hitting that 60 mark now. He ain't no young player anymore. He's practically lining up for them social security checks. Fans joking online saying he's about to collect his government money and still trying to act 25. But when you're pushing that age and still living wild, your body starts tapping out, no matter how rich or famous you are. And it's not just him. Lil Wayne's been looking rough too. His hair thinning out, his energy off, and he's been caught forgetting his own lyrics during shows. Like that's the same Wayne who once dropped verses back to back like a machine. He's in his early 40s now, but those years of non-stop partying and whatever else he's been on seem to be catching up fast. Birdman used to be like a father figure to Wayne, but now they both seem to be fading in front of the world's eyes. Remember when Wayne used to light that lighter before every verse? Fans used to think it was a vibe, but now people are connecting the dots and realizing maybe that flame symbolized more than just music. Something deep has been burning behind the scenes, and it's starting to show big time. Man, it's bad, real bad. Birdman don't even look like the same dude anymore. His face looking tired, his skin dull, half his hair gone, and people online swear his teeth looking shaky too. It's like his body's just given up after years of non-stop chaos. Then BG back in the mix, reportedly getting loaded again, and it's starting to feel like their bodies are just reacting to years of that same wild lifestyle catching up. These guys got millions, right? So they're not out here buying cheap junk. They get in the top shelf stuff, the kind that'll have you floating and crashing at the same time. That's the danger of too much luxury. When you got money to feed your vices, the fall hits even harder. And let's not forget the grind. They bouncing city to city, barely sleeping, barely eating right, and definitely not staying hydrated. When you live in that fast life, the body eventually hits the brakes hard. You can't keep pushing with no rest, no water, and too much of that other stuff running through your system. It's a recipe for disaster. Now, all that money they fought so hard to make is starting to slip right through their fingers. The people around them, the entourage, the hang-ons, the yes men, they all eating off that plate while the man himself breaking down piece by piece. It's sad but true. When your mind starts shutting down and your health fades, the same crowd that cheered for you on top usually just watches while you fall. Man, this right here is heartbreaking. When that constant lack of sleep and chaos catches up, it don't just stop at being tired. It turns into something deeper, like memory loss, Alzheimer's, or even dementia. Next thing you know, you're forgetting lyrics, names, where you at, or even how much money you got sitting in the bank. Some folks don't even remember they got money. That's how real it gets when your mind starts to fade. People need to be praying for Birdman, Lil Wayne, and BG right now because it's sad seeing legends fall apart in front of our eyes. These were once the hottest names on the planet, the faces of a whole generation. Every track, every hit, they ran the game. And now, to see them slipping like this, it hurts to watch, man. And you gotta give props where it's due. Juvenile's still out here holding it down like a champ. He's the only one from that crew who looks clear, focused, and solid. You can tell he stayed away from that heavy stuff because his energy's still strong and his mind sharp as ever. It's crazy though, right? We grew up watching these guys rise to the top, and now we're watching them fade away, being laughed at by the same crowd that once worshipped them. That's the real tragedy of fame. It don't last forever if you don't take care of yourself. So instead of clowning them, send a prayer up, man. Pray they find peace, get healthy, and maybe, just maybe, get a second chance to live right before it's too late. And now the street's buzzing like crazy. Everybody talking about what's next for Birdman, Wayne, and BG. Fans online saying this could be the end of an era, the fall of a dynasty that once ruled the whole game. Clips going viral every week showing Birdman nodding off, Wayne mumbling through verses, and BG looking lost on stage. It's turning into a circus of embarrassment for guys who used to be untouchable. People keep asking you where the real one's at, because these are the same legends who once bragged about running the block, but now they look like they can barely run a sentence. The fame, the pressure, the lifestyle, it all takes a toll when you never slow down. You can only fake the energy for so long before your body and mind start crashing. And it's not just about them, it's a lesson for everybody watching. Money can't buy health, peace, or sanity. You can have millions in the bank, but if you're losing yourself in the process, it all means nothing. These guys had the world in their hands, but fame don't come with instructions. It comes with temptation, sleepless nights, and fake friends who'll hype you up right into the ground. Still, deep down, fans ain't ready to give up on them yet. People want to see a comeback, a real redemption story where Birdman, Wayne, and BG clean up, reconnect, and remind the world why they became legends in the first place. Because behind all the drama and downfall, the talent is still there, waiting to shine again. But until that day comes, we're just watching it unfold like a slow-motion car crash, sad, messy, and unforgettable. Let's just hope they get help before it's too late. And if you want more wild stories and unfiltered truth like this, hit that subscribe button to Juicy Real, because the tea never stops spilling here. Now rumors are swirling even harder. People whispering that there's tension behind the scenes between the whole old Cash Money crew. Word is, some folks close to the camp been saying Birdman's health got everyone worried, but at the same time, they don't know how to tell him to chill. He's too proud, too legendary, too set in his ways. It's like trying to stop a moving train with your hands. Impossible. Meanwhile, Lil Wayne's fans been flooding his socials, begging him to take a break, go get checked out, maybe even hit rehab if that's what it takes. But Wayne's still showing up, performing, trying to prove he's the same unstoppable force he once was. It's like he's fighting the clock, trying to outrun time itself, but time always wins, no matter who you are. BG's situation ain't much better either. After getting out, people hoped he'd come back strong, maybe even drop some real comeback heat. But instead, all we getting are shaky clips and blurry photos that got folks wondering if he's really ready for the spotlight again. It's like the old magic just isn't there anymore, and fans are torn between nostalgia and heartbreak. Behind all the chaos, though, there's still that deep respect, the kind you can't fake. No matter how bad things get, the world knows these men helped shape an entire era of music. They laid the blueprint, they built the sound, they were hip-hop for a generation. That legacy can't ever be erased, even if their current image looks rough. It's sad, but it's real. The fall from greatness never looks clean. But maybe, just maybe, this is the wake-up call they need to finally turn it around before everything's lost for good. Stick around, cause you already know Juicy Real's got more exclusive scoops and untold stories that'll leave your jaw on the floor. And now things are reaching a breaking point. Fans, bloggers, and even industry insiders all saying the same thing. Birdman and his crew might be on the edge of collapse. The performances getting sloppier, the interviews more awkward, and the online comments brutal. People posting side-by-side pics from their prime days versus now, saying, damn, what happened to the legends? It's like watching your heroes slowly fade out in real time. Some insiders claim folks inside Cash Money been trying to hold it all together, doing damage control before the media tears them apart completely. But how long can they keep covering for Birdman falling asleep mid-talk or Wayne forgetting his lines live on stage? The internet don't let anything slide. Every slip turns into a viral meme within minutes. Meanwhile, new artists out here running circles around them. Young rappers with energy, new sounds, and a hunger these veterans just don't seem to have anymore. It's like watching the torch get passed, except the old kings didn't even realize the fire's been snatched already. Still, the story ain't over yet. Legends fall, but legends also rise, if they're smart enough to face the truth. Maybe Birdman needs to step back, focus on his health, let the new generation shine, and remind the world he's more than just a meme. Maybe Wayne takes time to recharge, come back stronger, cleaner, sharper than ever. Maybe BG gets his balance back and shocks everyone with one last real comeback track. Whatever happens next, you can bet the world's watching every single move. Cause when legends start cracking, the industry listens. And when they rise again, it shakes the whole game. Keep it locked right here on Juicy Real, where we spill the tea, drop the truth, and never hold back. Now listen, don't go clowning them or tearing them down online, cause this ain't about hate, it's about concern. What do y'all really think is going on here? Is it a health issue like narcolepsy or high blood sugar making Birdman crash out mid-performance? Or do you think it's that lifestyle catching up, the same wild habits from back in the day that just don't hit the same once you hit your 40s and 60s? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this situation got everybody talking. And let's keep it real. Pray for Birdman, pray for Lil Wayne, and even by G too. They might be legends, but they're still human. Still dealing with real struggles just like anybody else. It's crazy to think that Wayne ain't that young baby anymore. He out here pushing the same age as Tracy McGrady now. Time really flew, man. So before you laugh or point fingers, show a little love and hope these guys get back on track before it's too late. They gave us classics, memories, and an entire sound that changed hip-hop forever. They deserve prayers, not jokes. And yo, if you've been rocking with this breakdown and want more unfiltered stories, crazy throwbacks, and real talk about what's happening behind the scenes, smash that like button, share the video, and hit subscribe to Juicy Real. We keep it raw, we keep it real, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.
Tony. I think everybody was shocked when we found out that these two actually got married. I know, like, there's a lot of things we will do in order to pay our bills, but I never thought the relationship between Tony and Birdman was genuine. I just knew that he was just willing to go broke behind her. It just never fit. And so apparently in August of last year in 2024, they had a secret wedding. Finally got married in secret, even though everything else was public. And then she went and tried to annul the marriage 2 weeks.
Looks like the so-called #1 stunner just got stunned. Birdman, yes, that Birdman is out here spilling the kind of tea nobody saw coming.
Came back.
Yeah. I think it's when I was first diagnosed with having lupus, I was so down, I was so depressed, and the doctors told me I would never be able to work again, your music career's over, but the man upstairs had a whole other plan for me.
Yeah.
But at the time,
The man's finally talking, and let's just say, it's ugly. Word on the street is that Birdman's blasting Toni Braxton like never before, claiming she left him flat once the money train ran out. He's saying Toni packed up and dipped the second things got tight, leaving him high, dry, and counting coins. According to him, the moment his pockets stopped overflowing, Toni ghosted like a magician with a smoke bomb.
I don't know, 2016, November, when I was on tour, October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
From the
really
lupus?
sick.
Or
I had a
from-
really
okay.
bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. If he left out, he would come back.
And this was before anybody knew you guys.
We weren't
were
anything.
even,
With
like-
buddies. It was
Right.
nothing. Not even a day. He was my friend. He was there. I don't know if
he
ever...
already loved you.
He's there every day taking care of you. But he really was there every day. My buddy, my friend. You all right? You good? I'm cheering good. He was just there as my friend. I'm cheering good. Big Mama good. He was there every day for the shows. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently.
And now the whispers are getting louder. Folks are saying she's back on the edge of going broke again. But let's keep it real. This ain't Toni's first money storm. The woman's been through not one, but 2 bankruptcies and still came out flashing designer bags, diamonds, and 5-star vacations like the queen of glam she is. From her mansion life to her designer addiction, Toni's always acted like her credit cards got no limit. So when Birdman started talking, everyone started connecting the dots, and the story's looking way less like a love song and more like a revenge track. According to Birdman, what looked like a fairy tale was really just a setup, a romance dipped in luxury but soaked in lies.
Me and him have been friends for 16 years.
I know you had a song like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
too,
we've
right?
been like besties for a long time.
People always say that. But
No, this is real. Like no cross the line.
besties, like you always kept in touch and you always talked.
We would keep in touch. He would come see me when I had my plays, when I had my baby shower. He would come. Like we were really friends.
Meanwhile, Toni's camp ain't staying quiet either. They're clapping back, calling Birdman bitter and saying he's rewriting history just to save face. Still, people can't help but wonder, did Toni really play him? Did she finesse the mogul who once called himself the boss of bosses? Because if Birdman's telling the truth, this might just be one of the biggest heartbreak hustles in R&B history. And the drama, it's just getting started. Oh no, this drama's way deeper than anybody expected. What started as a breakup rumor just turned into a full-blown money mystery. We're talking shady bank trails, secret deals, and whispers that could make even Hollywood blush. And get this, insiders are saying this might go down as one of the wildest relationship exposés in all of R&B history. But it gets even crazier. Reports claim Toni tried to slide out of her short-lived marriage to Birdman with a jaw-dropping $160 million divorce payout after being married for less than a month. Yes, you heard that right. 1 month. That's not bold. That's billionaire level boldness. And apparently, she didn't even make it through the honeymoon phase. Allegedly, Toni packed her bags and peaced out just 2 days after the wedding. 2 days. Then, before anyone could blink, Less than 4 weeks later, she filed for divorce, calling the marriage irretrievably broken and saying there was no chance of fixing it. That's when the drama hit the stratosphere. If that $160 million number's even half true, this isn't about love gone wrong. This is next level audacity. Fans are stunned, asking how a marriage that barely lasted a blink could come with a payout that massive. Like, who even signs a deal like that? And now, everyone's side-eyeing the whole situation. Was it love, or was it a luxury hustle from the start? With Tony's history of financial chaos and taste for the finer things, people are starting to suspect this wedding might have been less about romance and more about a grand plan. Did she play chess, while Birdman thought it was checkers? Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. This breakup's shaping up to be a scandal for the ages. Now the streets are straight up buzzing with one burning question. Did Miss Unbreak My Heart really tie the knot with the #1 stunner just to cash out and disappear? Like, hold up. She wanted how much for 2 days of marriage? Folks can't stop talking about how Toni Braxton allegedly believed she deserved a $160 million payout after barely making it past the honeymoon suite. That's not just wild. That's legendary level boldness. And honestly, how did Birdman not see this coming? Fans online are calling it plain and simple, saying Toni pulled a classic gold digger move. And when you look at the timeline, it's hard not to raise an eyebrow. I mean, who files for divorce before the wedding flowers even wilt and still thinks they deserve a whole empire? Yeah, Birdman and Toni officially split back in 2019. But you know how messy love stories never stay buried. By 2023, Birdman claims Toni started creeping back into the picture, sending signals, dropping flirty hints, and making sure he knew she was still around. According to him, she came back smooth, acting like nothing ever happened, charming, smiling, and playing the same sweet tune that got him hooked the first time. At first, Birdman says he tried to keep his distance. He wasn't trying to fall for the same trap twice. He told people he had moved on and wanted no part of that drama again. But if you believe his side of things, Toni didn't quit that easy. She kept popping up, showing face at events, and tugging at those old emotions like she knew exactly what strings to pull. It's giving deja vu, and fans can't help but wonder, was this another love story in the making, or just a setup for round 2 of heartbreak and headlines? Whatever it was, it had everybody glued to their screens, waiting for the next move in the wildest R&B saga of the decade. I know you had a song like 15 years ago too, right? Someone asked. And that's when things started to spark again. What began as casual talk turned into late night convos, throwback memories, and soon enough, Toni and Birdman were right back where they left off. The chemistry was undeniable, and before long, they rekindled that flame for real. They got close, stayed inseparable for about a year, and then finally made it official, tying the knot on August 8th, 2024. Fans thought it was a comeback love story for the ages. But hold up, because that's exactly where everything flipped upside down. Just 2 days later, yes, only 48 hours after saying, "I do," Toni filed for divorce. You read that right. Court documents straight from her side say they officially separated on August 10th, 2024. People online lost their minds trying to figure out what could have possibly gone down in that tiny window. Like, what kind of chaos hits right after the wedding cake's been cut? And when the news dropped that Toni was allegedly asking for a $160 million payout, social media completely exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everyone had something to say. Some were calling her a legend for the fastest divorce in celeb history, while others called it the boldest money grab they'd ever seen. Even 50 Cent couldn't resist throwing shade. He hopped on Instagram and joked, "Now watch, women are gonna say, well, if you stuck it out for 16 years, you deserve to be paid." Then he twisted the knife with a slick punchline saying, "Not 16 years, for 2 days." The comment section went wild, laughing, arguing, and turning the whole thing into a meme fest overnight. Word on the street is Birdman's convinced Toni was never in it for love, just the cash. And honestly, after seeing how fast she went from bride to ex-wife, can anyone blame him for thinking that? The man's net worth is sitting around $160 million, and people are saying Tony aimed straight for the jackpot. It's got everyone wondering, was it heartbreak or was it a high-stakes hustle dressed up in wedding white? Either way, Tony didn't even make it a full week before hitting him with those divorce papers. And that's the kind of twist even Hollywood couldn't script better. She was out before the ink on the marriage license even dried. Like blink, and you'd have missed the whole marriage. Insiders are saying Birdman is furious. He's demanding that Tony put some respect on his name. And word is, he's been dragging her behind the scenes ever since. But this time, he's not whispering. He's calling her out loud and clear. No filters, no sugarcoating, no fake smiles. According to Birdman's camp, he's labeling Tony straight up as a gold digger. Birdman feels like he got played, and not just a little bit. He feels like he got hustled by one of the smoothest in the game. And guess what? Some folks close to the situation are actually backing him up. Allegedly, Tony didn't just stop at trying to snatch his money through the courts. She supposedly tried to flip some of his jewelry too. Yeah, you heard that right. Insiders claim she had her eyes locked on his high-end pieces and even made moves to sell them off when she couldn't get her hands on the cash directly. That's not just bold. That's next level fearless. But honestly, are we even surprised anymore? Tony's money history has been shaky for decades. Back in the 90s, she was one of the biggest stars on the planet. Millions of albums sold, global fame, chart-topping hits, and that iconic voice that defined a whole era. She had everything, the looks, the talent, the success, but somehow the money never seemed to last. Despite being at the top of the world, Tony still ended up broke, not once, but twice. And each time, she bounced back glammed up like nothing ever happened. So now, with Birdman calling her out and the receipts stacking up, people are starting to wonder, is this just history repeating itself, or was the whole marriage part of the same pattern all along? Back in 1998, Toni Braxton shocked the world when she filed for bankruptcy for the very first time, and the media lost its mind. Nobody could wrap their head around how a superstar of her level, dripping in Grammys and chart toppers, could lose it all just like that. But before she could even catch her breath, the chaos rolled straight into 1999, and the headlines only got nastier. Every tabloid in the game dragged her name through the mud, calling her out for wild spending sprees and luxury habits she clearly couldn't afford. In an attempt to clear her name, Toni went on Oprah, thinking she could fix her image. But that plan backfired fast. Oprah didn't play nice. She looked Toni dead in the eye and grilled her about her spending, questioning why she was buying designer everything while her finances were falling apart. And instead of owning up, Toni clapped back hard, accusing Oprah of being too harsh and painting herself as the victim right there on national TV. The tension was thick, and the moment went down as one of the most awkward interviews in talk show history. For a little while after that, it seemed like Toni got her act together. She bounced back, dropped new music, and for a brief moment, her money game looked stable again. The comeback looked strong, glamorous, confident, and shiny enough to fool the world into thinking she'd learned her lesson. But that illusion cracked wide open again when 2010 hit. Toni Braxton filed for bankruptcy again, and this time it was a total financial disaster. Reports said she was drowning in debt, somewhere between $10 million and $50 million. That's not a simple, oops, I overspent moment. That's a full-blown financial meltdown. Toni claimed the downfall came after her Las Vegas residency got canceled due to a serious heart condition, but insiders say that was only part of the story. Behind closed doors, things were messy. There were tangled up insurance disputes, drama over medical coverage, and a mountain of unpaid taxes piling up faster than anyone could count. By the time it all came to light, fans didn't know what to think anymore. Was she cursed with bad luck, or just trapped in her own pattern of money chaos? Either way, it painted a picture of a woman living large, falling hard, and somehow always landing right back in the spotlight. Since then, Toni's been fighting hard to stay afloat, but the numbers don't lie, and they're not looking pretty. Her music just hasn't been hitting like it used to. Her last album barely sold 7,000 copies and peaked at number 163 on the Billboard 200. 100, a shocking drop for someone who once ruled the R&B charts like royalty. The album before that did a little better, moving about 16,000 copies, but still, that's a far cry from the chart-topping dominance she once had. For a legend who used to own the radio, those numbers scream one thing: trouble. With album sales falling through the floor, Toni had to pivot fast. And that's when she started leaning heavy on Braxton family values, her family's reality show that once had everyone hooked. For a while, it worked. The drama, the sister fights, the tears, it all kept her name buzzing and the checks rolling in. But as time went on, the shine started to fade. Viewers moved on, ratings slipped, and the show that once kept her brand alive started to lose its magic. Without fresh hits or a major project keeping her in the spotlight, the pressure started building again. Bills, business moves, and that high-end lifestyle catching up quick. And that's when fans started side-eyeing her reunion with Birdman, wondering if it was really about rekindling old love or just a strategic move for survival. Rumors were already swirling that Toni was this close to filing for bankruptcy for the third time. And then, just like that, boom! She pops back up with Birdman after 4 years of silence. The timing had people talking nonstop. Some said it was fate, others called it a financial rescue mission. Whatever the reason, it sure didn't look like coincidence. Because when a star starts falling and suddenly reappears next to a millionaire ex, you already know the internet's gonna have questions, and this time, nobody's buying the fairy tale. The timing was way too perfect, and people noticed immediately. What was supposed to look like a sweet reunion suddenly had everyone side-eyeing hard. It wasn't giving, "I missed my man." It was giving, "I need that cash." The whole thing just fell off. When Toni and Birdman got back together in 2023, fans couldn't make sense of it. After years of saying it was over for good, Toni had made it crystal clear that the chapter was closed. She even said, "Who do you think I am? Don't you know that he was my man?" That sounded final. So when she suddenly spun the block and started cozying up to Birdman again, the internet went wild. People were like, what changed? It was a full 180, and the energy didn't feel romantic. It felt calculated. Fans started whispering that the reunion wasn't about love, but about leverage. And now that Birdman's calling her out publicly and airing every dirty detail, a lot of folks are convinced this was all a setup from the start, a strategic money move, not some long-lost love story. Even before this latest mess hit the blogs, fans were already catching on. There had been tension brewing between them for a while. You could see it if you knew where to look. Remember that painfully awkward moment on the Tamron Hall show back in 2022? Toni was there to open up about her lupus diagnosis. It was supposed to be a heartfelt, emotional interview. But the second Tamron mentioned Birdman's name, everything changed. Toni's face went cold, her shoulders tensed up, and her whole vibe shifted instantly. She dodged eye contact, gave short answers, and looked like she wanted to be anywhere but there. You could feel the discomfort through the screen. It was like watching someone's poker face crumble in real time. Fans who caught that moment are now replaying it like detectives, saying that interview was the first clue, the warning sign that not everything about Birdman and Toni was as real as it seemed. Because when love's genuine, it shows. But when money's involved, the truth always leaks out eventually. Toni once said, "I'm just not feeling it anymore." But then, out of nowhere, she spun the block and came right back like nothing ever happened. Everyone was left scratching their heads, totally confused. And now, with all this new drama blowing up, it's starting to look less like a love story and more like a calculated move. Because let's be real, the Toni and Birdman saga has been messy from day one. They've been on and off since 2016, and even when they were on, their whole relationship never really made sense to anyone. One minute, they were just friends. The next minute, they were engaged. And then, boom, silence. No wedding, no updates, no pictures, just cryptic interviews and awkward dodges whenever someone brought it up. The vibes were weird. Let's rewind to 2018 when Birdman decided to make it official. He went all out, dropped to one knee with a $5 million yellow diamond ring. It was massive, flashy, and absolutely over the top. Cameras went crazy. Fans were screaming. And for a minute, it really looked like a fairy tale moment. But behind the scenes, crickets. No date. No real plans. Nothing but confusion. It started giving publicity stunt, not wedding bells. Every few months, Tony would tell interviewers the same thing, that the wedding was just postponed, blaming it on timing or busy schedules. But fans weren't buying it for a second. They could tell something wasn't right. Too many delays, too many excuses, too much mystery. Then came the final red flag that had everyone's jaw on the floor. Tony claimed she lost the $5 million engagement ring. Yes, you read that right. $5 million just gone. No explanation, no recovery, just vanished into thin air. Fans were like, how do you misplace a diamond the size of a planet? It didn't make sense. And that's when people really started questioning everything about her and Birdman's so-called love story. Was it a real romance? Or was someone just playing the long game for headlines and money moves? Because that kind of disappearance doesn't just raise eyebrows, it raises alarms. Tony claims she accidentally left it on a flight, like it was nothing. Just another lost earring or phone charger. But come on now, a $5 million ring? That explanation had everyone scratching their heads. How do you misplace something that massive and just shrug it off like it's no big deal? Fans were stunned. The media went wild. And now, looking back at all the red flags, the awkward interviews, the missing ring, the endless wedding delays, people are finally putting the puzzle together because it's starting to look like this whole situation might have been about one thing and one thing only: securing that Birdman bankroll. Sure, the man got his bag back, but that $5 million diamond, gone without a trace, vanished into thin air like a magic trick nobody wanted to see. I mean, seriously, how do you lose a diamond that could probably be seen from space? Now the streets are whispering and the whispers are getting louder. Folks are saying Tony didn't lose that ring at all. Word is, she pawned it to pay off her debts. And honestly, with her long, rocky financial history, people aren't even surprised anymore. Insiders close to the situation claim Tony was desperate, drowning in debt, scrambling to stay above water. And when you're backed into a financial corner, you do what you gotta do. That ring was reportedly the most valuable thing she owned at the time, and allegedly, she saw it as her only real way out. At first, Birdman didn't even trip. He believed her story, stayed calm, and played it cool in interviews. He brushed it off like a gentleman, saying accidents happen. But that chill vibe didn't last long. Because if the rumors are true, when he eventually found out that the ring wasn't lost at all, that it had allegedly been sold behind his back, that's when everything exploded. Birdman was heated. Their love story officially crashed and burned, leaving nothing but tension, betrayal, and a $5 million mystery that still has the internet talking. And now, fans are wondering, was the ring ever really about love, or was it always about the money? One thing's for sure, this saga's far from over. And if you thought this drama was wild, just wait till the next twist drops. Don't forget to subscribe to Juicy Reel for more exclusive, scandal-packed stories that'll keep you glued to the screen.
Mention my motherfucking name. I disrespect you, make you throw your motherfucking life away. Chump. You a chump to me, nigga. You and your clique are mob ties, nigga. Y'all can suck my dick. Let me tell you something, homie. I didn't have no show. I was working with the same organization that works against you niggas. James Prince got a house full of them niggas, them sex offender peddlers. Cause the FBI want the Houston Police Department and James Prince too. Why you think Houston police keep turning the other way on all these murders, nigga? How do you think James Prince can get a police report, nigga, to an open murder investigation that includes his son? And none of the stuff is redacted. None of the information on this none of this names is blotted. How can James Prince get access to that, nigga? So, nigga, he working with the police, I'm working with the government.
One of the things that's important to do when you are under attack by feds or any police force, anything, period, is to not be afraid to put the spotlight on it.
Today we're diving straight into the chaos because Charleston White is stirring the pot once again, and this time he's pointing his shots right at Jay Prince Jr. and that whole mob ties image they've been pushing.
Yeah, make the white boy motorcycle gang. Make Taylor Swift check in. Make Khloe Kardashian check in. What's the white boy name on The Voice? Make every motherfucking body check in. What's the white boy name down here? Post Malone. Make him check in.
Yeah.
Why the niggas got to check in? I just left Houston last week. I ain't check in. Yeah, I went through Houston, went to Beaumont. Nah, I ain't check in. So why the niggas got to check in, Mr. Prince? Mob ties?
He's calling out Houston's infamous check-in culture. You know, that unspoken rule that when celebrities land in the city, they're supposed to humble themselves and pay respect just to move around safely. Charleston ain't buying it, and he's blasting the whole idea like it's a scam. And here's the kicker.
No wonder everybody got to check in, y'all. Now I'm checking in with the police department. Police department told me, hey man, you got a problem with Mr. James Prince. Austin, we hear you got a problem with James Prince. Man, we scared of him. I swear to God, y'all, I just got the call from the Houston's mayor's office and the gang unit police department in Houston, Texas. They are scared of the rapper.
He's not just talking low-key, he's making it crystal clear. He's not checking in with anybody, no matter who they are or how legendary their rep is supposed to be. That's bold, and you know it's about to set some people off. Charleston isn't just talking reckless. He's putting Houston's so-called security on blast. He's asking the real question, how safe is this check-in system if tragedies keep happening anyway? People still remember the shock of Takeoff's death, and Charleston throws that pain right back in Jay Prince Jr.'s face. He flips the whole narrative, saying the streets don't lie and that everybody's watching closely to see what's really going on. The way he tells it, mob ties isn't a symbol of power, it's a front. Just a scare tactic meant to make outsiders bow down. And the way Charleston laughs about it, that's what really hits different. He mocks the very idea that anyone would actually need Jay Prince Jr. or his crew for protection just to move around Houston. He's basically stripping away the mystique, daring them to prove him wrong. And you know that kind of disrespect doesn't sit quietly in the streets.
Houston is more of a player town. Houston is a way player, homie. They ain't just hunting down celebrities. You can go to Houston with your jewelry on, go to the clubs and have fun. Takeoff was just a fluke. But you can go to Houston and party and have fun all night, go to different sides of Houston. And you can't do that you can't do that in LA.
Charleston takes it even further, calling out the straight-up hypocrisy. If mob ties really runs Houston the way they claim, then why do the streets stay messy and dangerous? He even mimics their talk, saying things like, I thought you said yeah, okay, for sure, before clowning the whole setup like it's nothing but smoke and mirrors. He laughs at the idea that this crew's word holds power, pointing out that rappers and entertainers still end up in chaotic, sometimes deadly situations, despite all this supposed protection. According to Charleston, there's nothing noble about it. He says flat out that checking in isn't respect at all. It's just extortion dressed up with a fancy label.
All that setup dealing with Jay Prince Jr. and mob ties, because they extort. See, Jay Prince Jr. and them try to extort, but they don't come up. When they come up here, they be on their best behavior. When mob ties come up to Dallas, nigga, I was in DG with this, homie. When Houston played Dallas, throwing money like a motherfucker. They be on their best behavior. They only try to play the mob ties extortion to the weak rappers. But come on, homie, you heard what Sauce Walker told us, man. Yeah, man, y'all, homie, Houston is a player town.
And he doesn't just leave it there. He doubles down, making it clear he's not scared of the Princes, not scared of their ties, not scared of anyone connected to that movement. The man is practically daring them to respond, and you know that makes the tension skyrocket. Charleston's message cuts deep. He says real power never comes from forcing people to bow down. It comes from genuine respect. And in his eyes, the Princes already lost that respect the moment people started asking what their name really stands for. He compares the mob ties reputation to nothing but smoke and mirrors, an illusion, a brand dressed up to look bigger and scarier than it actually is. Charleston being Charleston, he doesn't hold back, telling the world that no celebrity should feel pressured or scared to visit Houston just because they refuse to check in.
Yeah, I don't think they mob ties is mob ties. It's rap-a-lot ties, you know. But they ain't got no mob to move nothing in America. They can't persuade no judge like the real Italian mafia can. They ain't got no construction contracts like the real mob ties
in New York has with the unions and no. They just playing gangster like the niggas playing. Jay Prince is a mogul, but he don't have a mob. And he not a mafia.
Then he hits them with the knockout blow, saying that this mob-like image Jay Prince Jr. and his people keep pushing is collapsing. Why? Because real protection doesn't look like what happened to Takeoff, and if that's the best they can offer, then the whole empire is crumbling right in front of everyone's eyes. Charleston goes straight for the jugular, saying all that respect mob ties demands doesn't mean a thing if their name is tied to nothing but bloodshed and chaos. That's the wound nobody wants touched, and he's pressing hard on it. Meanwhile, the internet is lit up and divided.
Antonio is dangerous. It's a lot of places that's dangerous. But you can go as a black rapper, a black celebrity, and have fun in these towns, long as you don't check in to Jay Prince Jr. Jay Prince Jr. is the boy. Everything happened around him. He the boy. Not the city of Houston. Jay Prince Jr. is the boy trying to play gangster mob, homie, really discrediting his father's name and legacy. Couldn't be private kid school, so why would you check into the private school? Private school, homie. Now, Jazz is way more player from what I heard. But Jay Prince Jr. go beat up the bitches, stick his long fingernails when they walk by the strip club, bite their booty, all kind of shit. He an unruly motherfucker. You done heard the rumor, man. Come on, homie. Yeah, all the girls in the strip club say he got long fingernails, be trying to stick his fingers up in they...
Half the fans are hyped, praising Charleston as the only one bold enough to finally say what everybody's been whispering. The other half? They're warning him he's poking the wrong bear, stepping way too far into dangerous territory. But Charleston doesn't flinch for a second. He's not sweating the threats, not dodging the backlash. He's standing tall, refusing to bend or apologize for a single word.
Away from Jay Prince Jr., you'll be all right in Houston. But if he tricked you in thinking you got to come be with them, they go. Remember the that was shooting the fake dice on? I had him on recording, telling the story. Right after the day, he telling me how Takeoff was quiet and the Quavo was doing all the talking. So I know one of them called to come shoot the bad dice on it. So if you like to gamble, yeah, you go get caught up with Boosie and all them with the J. It's homie, yeah, nah. But if you stay away from the crowd and you just with who you with, and you can have fun in H-Town. It's a party town. Have fun till the sun come up. And it's a player town, homie. Houston have always been a player town. Don't get me wrong, they get gangster, but they only get gangster when they have to. Don't look around trying to be gangster and force gangsterism off on just their people. That's why it's a lot of black, vibrant businesses out there in Houston.
In his eyes, mob ties ain't saving anybody. And if that's the truth, then this whole check-in culture needs to be buried once and for all. Love him or hate him, Charleston White knows exactly how to set the streets buzzing and keep his name echoing loud in the culture.
Oh, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. But I did see the mob ties in the Jay Prince red too. Bro.
Man, nigga, ain't nobody scared of them niggas.
I'm saying like what, but like where does that come from? Where does that come from?
Because somebody asked the question. We not afraid of Jay Prince up here in Dallas. Homie, he ain't had no influence up here. His sons, none of that shit. My nigga right there, nigga, they come through and try to do something. Nigga, we some big dogs up here. Nah, homie, them niggas only big down now. Mob ties don't exist up here because when the police kill some, where's mob ties? When we need murder solved in the community and these niggas kill babies, where is mob ties? When the women is getting beat and raped, where is mob ties, homie? Where is mob ties for the community program? Nigga, fuck mob ties, nigga. Harder we working for these kids up here. Don't bring no motherfucking mob ties up to me, nigga. Them niggas don't do a goddamn thing.
By aiming straight at Jay Prince Jr., Charleston is ripping open cracks in the mob ties image that's been carefully built for years. Some folks see him as reckless, others see him as the only voice brave enough to speak the truth. But either way, he's shaking the table hard. He's making the whole rap game confront uncomfortable questions that can't be ignored anymore.
Nah, homie, take them restrictions and protocols off any nigga. We don't owe y'all nothing. Y'all people want to enjoy the entertainment. I can go hire me some white boy sheriffs to patrol me, but I'd much rather get the black security company. But if I got to check in because they go be dropping tips on me, now I go get the white boy security. You don't make them police check in. So no, that's what I mean by I don't respect nothing like that. You just making your people check in. That ain't how the mob work. The mob make everybody pay a price. The judge, the police chief, the police that run the beat, everybody got to pay. So that's why I don't respect it, homie. And I hate, it's like Whack 100 done trick Mr. Prince, man. Mr. Prince normally don't talk.
According to him, checking in isn't respect, it's extortion with a fancy label. He doubles down by saying he's not afraid of the Princes or anyone linked to mob ties.
He don't have that mystique.
What is real power? Is respect earned or demanded? And most of all, how safe can Houston really be if the city's so-called protection system looks this fragile? Whether Charleston's words end up sparking change or sparking chaos, one thing is clear. He's forcing everyone to look behind the curtain, and what they're finding doesn't look good. And if you're hooked on this kind of raw drama, make sure you smash that subscribe button and keep rocking with Juicy Real, because the next scandal is always just around the corner. Wait. Did Drake really just pull out real straps in a music video, like actual heat, and made it seem like he was aiming it all at Kendrick Lamar? This ain't no regular rap beef, this is straight up movie villain energy. And guess who shut it all the way down? Pusha T stormed in with receipts and he ain't here for the games. Everybody figured Drake would chill after Kendrick dropped that humiliating L on him. But now it's 2025 and Drizzy out here acting like he's auditioning for The Godfather, throwing fake threats like it's still 2015. Flashing weapons, fake tough talk, and trying to scare folks on camera? That's not bold. That's just plain reckless. And the internet? Oh, they tore him apart. People were clowning him like, you acting all hard when you literally suing your own label because you couldn't take the heat from Kendrick? It's not gangsta. It's embarrassing. The timeline was full of memes and nobody let him slide, but the one who really hit Drake where it hurt? Pusha T. Yeah, he came for his neck. And the timing? Flawless. Clips just dropped their first album in 15 years, Let God Sort Him Out, and the street's been waiting on this comeback. And guess who's featured on it? Kendrick himself. Word is Def Jam tried to shut that feature down, but Pusha didn't back off. He went harder and gave Drake a real reason to be heated. If you want more of this unfiltered fire, hit that subscribe button on the Juicy Real channel. You don't want to miss what's next. Now here's where it gets messy. Insiders from PCIA just spilled the real tea, and it's wild. Word is, folks behind the scenes were out here trying to sabotage the entire Clips rollout, and surprise, surprise, it all circles back to Drake and his non-stop Kendrick obsession. This ain't petty anymore. This is straight up desperation. Right before the album dropped, Pusha T hit Instagram with a bold post. Can't nothing stop this. Greatness. The lies are very telling. He didn't even need to tag a name. Fans instantly knew who the shots were aimed at. No guessing needed. It was crystal clear. Now here's where it gets dirtier. Drake allegedly was paying troll pages to trash the Clips album. Yup, whole comment sections were flooded with hate by people who never even heard the project. Bots and burner accounts flooding timelines with weak takes like, Drake doesn't. Worst rap album I've ever heard. Or this classic, these guys are almost 50. They should quit. But here's the twist. The hate was fake and fans knew it. Social media clapped back hard. The internet saw through the nonsense and started dragging the trolls. One comment had people dying. I can't wait to see y'all try to hype this flop. Another went full savage. Clips is struggling and it's well deserved. That user didn't hold back, saying Clips should stop chasing buzz by name-dropping bigger artists and finally focus on their music again. And the real dagger? They said Clips' comeback was about to get buried by a Justin Bieber album. Oof! So get this. The same weekend, Clips dropped their long-awaited comeback. Travis Scott released a track and Drake lit up the Wireless Festival stage. Talk about brutal timing. One fan even joked, this ain't a coke high, this a coke crash for Clips, cold-blooded. But the chaos didn't stop there. Drake's fans were not letting Pusha T's Instagram post slide. One user on X clapped back hard. There is no smear campaign. Nobody cares about Clips in real life. Hasn't for 4 presidents. Oof. And they didn't stop there. They went after Clips' tour numbers too, claiming the group can't even fill 20% of the seats. According to them, this ain't sabotage, it's just reality catching up. Still, Pusha T's Day One fans came in swinging. They weren't about to let OVO fans rewrite the story. They're saying Drake's camp is out here throwing smoke screens to distract from the real mess. Drake's latest diss track and over-the-top music video, the track, What Did I Miss? And get this, it dropped exactly 1 year after Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. Yeah, that's no coincidence. The track shows Drake spinning out again, venting about so-called friends flipping sides during his Kendrick beef, crying about feeling abandoned, but social media was not here for it. The internet lit him up, roasting him for playing the victim again, even though he keeps starting the drama. One user on X nailed it. Drake always plays the victim. Simple, director, brutal. Want to keep up with this non-stop rap drama? Tap subscribe on Juicy Reel. You know it's about to get even messier. He's the fake one, trying to control his friends. That's what people are saying online, and they're not holding back. Another user echoed it loud. Drake always plays the victim. Lawsuits flying everywhere, drama spilling out from every angle, and Drake's still out here dropping tracks like What Did I Miss? Acting like he's some misunderstood martyr. Kendrick already exposed him for this in Euphoria, remember that? Drake's not even playing in the rap battle league anymore. Folks are saying he never should have stepped on that court to begin with. But here's where it really gets messy. The lawsuit. Yeah, Drake is reportedly suing his own label, claiming they sat back while Kendrick allegedly defamed him with those now infamous PDF accusations. It's a legal war now, and people are straight up confused by how bold Drake's still acting through all of it. And then, boom, in What Did I Miss? Drake drops a lyric that made the internet freeze. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. What? Everyone knew exactly what that line was hinting at. And for someone caught up in controversy that got folks calling him certified PDF file online, that line was wildly reckless. But believe it or not, the lyrics weren't even the worst part. The video had fans straight up laughing. Drake's out here in his backyard, surrounded by props and fake heat, striking tough guy poses like he's in some budget action flick. But instead of looking dangerous, fans say he just looked goofy and desperate, and even Charlemagne from The Breakfast Club couldn't let it slide. He said Drake was straight up cosplaying a shooter and called the whole production corny. Now Drake's fans are out here scrambling, trying to explain the deep meaning behind that chaotic video. They're claiming folks just missed the symbolism. According to them, all those guns pointed at Drake, that's supposed to represent the whole world coming for him. He's in the middle, caught between snipers, standing tall like he's still handling business. Dramatic? Sure. Effective? Not even close. Critics weren't buying a single bit of it. One ex-user fired off, Kendrick's a street dude. He's about that life. Drake is not. He's pretending, running to court cause folks said mean things, while still flashing guns and throwing threats. That's not tough. That's comedy. Another comment straight up dragged him. Mid-lawsuit, surrounded by weapons, rapping about revenge, and then hopping on live streams threatening people? That's not savage, it's just reckless. So now everyone's asking the real question. How long can Drake keep playing both sides? Because fans are watching everything, and this saga is getting messier by the second. And yeah, this time, Drake fumbled. Hard. Here's how wild it got during a recent live stream. Drake was cruising through the city in a box truck hyping up his upcoming album Iceman. But then, boom, a group of teens on bikes rolled past and shouted the B word at him, quoting Kendrick's Not Like Us, and instead of brushing it off, Drake snapped back. He told one of them he could get shot. But let's be real, it didn't sound threatening. It sounded salty. Drake came off more annoyed than dangerous. And yes, all of this happened in Toronto, which explains why he suddenly started laying the Toronto accent on extra thick, trying to sound menacing in his own backyard. Meanwhile, Pusha T, he's still pressing on Drake's neck like he's collecting a debt. This battle is far from over. For all the next level updates, drama, and spicy details, make sure you hit subscribe on Juicy Reel right now. This heat ain't cooling off anytime soon. Right before Clips dropped their new album, Pusha T sat down with GQ, and man, he did not hold back. He went straight at Drake, blasting him for dragging the Not Like Us beef into the courtroom. Pusha said, "I don't rate him no more. The suing thing is bigger than some rap stuff. I just don't rate you." Oof. That cut deep, and honestly, he's got a point. Once lawsuits start flying over bars and disses, the whole rap battle vibe takes a hit. It's not hip-hop anymore, it's legal drama, and let's be real, that kind of move makes the whole thing feel weak. But believe it or not, that wasn't even the wildest part of the interview. In that same sit-down, Pusha dropped a bomb. He said Def Jam wanted him to ask Kendrick to censor his verse on the Clips track Chains and Whips. Why? They were scared Kendrick might take more shots at Drake. But PCIA stood 10 toes down and said nope, and then things got ugly. According to Pusha, once he refused to water it down, Def Jam didn't just back off, they tried to pull the entire track from the album. When Pusha still didn't fold, they made their move. Clips got dropped from the label. But here's where the script flipped. Clips didn't beg to come back. They immediately signed a brand new distribution deal with Roc Nation, and in a fresh convo with Elliott Wilson, Pusha aired it all out. He said Def Jam went full control mode, trying to micromanage the Kendrick collab and pushing hard to kill the track completely. But Pusha, he didn't flinch. He doubled down. And trust, he still ain't done. Want to keep riding the front lines of this rap war? You already know what to do. Hit subscribe on Juicy Reel and don't miss a single twist. Pusha T didn't just air out Def Jam, he linked it all the way back to his 2018 beef with Drake. Yeah, the moment he dropped The Story of Adidon and exposed Drake for hiding his son from the world. That diss shook the whole rap world to its core, and now Push is saying the behind-the-scenes fallout was just as dirty. In a recent sit-down with Pop, Pusha revealed that right after he released that infamous diss, multiple tracks of his mysteriously got shelved. Like someone behind closed doors was trying to quietly punish him for going at Drake too hard, he tried to let it slide until the same exact shady moves happened again with Chains and Whips. That's when he knew it wasn't a coincidence, it was war. And here's where it gets laughable. Pusha says the label tried to spin some nonsense excuse, claiming they wanted the song pulled because he used the term trump card and they didn't want political controversy. But Push wasn't buying it. He flat out called it cap. According to him, the real reason was loud and clear. They were trying to protect Drake. Why? Because they couldn't handle two of Drake's biggest rivals, Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar, linking up on one track. That's the real threat they were trying to shut down. Now Push tried to keep it cool, saying Chains and Whips isn't really about Drake, but come on, that title alone is way too pointed to be random. It screams subliminal. Let's break it down. On Churchill Downs, Drake threw clear shade at both of them with that line. All I hear is plug talk coming from middlemen. Everybody knew that was aimed straight at Pusha, no debate, and this back and forth runs deep. You want more of the real behind the scenes heat? Don't wait. Slam that subscribe button on Juicy Reel right now and stay tapped in. Then Drake threw in another slick bar. Tall tales coming from little men, whips and chains like a dominatrix. It was clearly a flex and a shot at Kendrick. So what did Kendrick and Clips do? They clapped all the way back with a track titled Chains and Whips. Coincidence? Absolutely not. Right after the song dropped, social media exploded. People were breaking down every single bar, decoding lines like it was a rap version of a mystery novel. Fans were digging deep, trying to figure out which parts were aimed at Drake and which ones were just sneaky heat flying under the radar. And while Pusha tried to play it cool, saying the song wasn't really about Drake, nobody was buying it. One fan on X summed it up perfectly. Pusha and Kendrick knew exactly what they were doing. You don't name a track Chains and Whips right after Drake literally said those words last year. This is chess, not checkers. Another fan posted on, Drake's lyrics were slick, but this Clips record, it's straight up calculated. But hold up, it gets even messier. Insiders are now saying Drake tried to block the Kendrick collab before the track even dropped. Multiple sources claim he made some behind-the-scenes calls, trying to keep Kendrick off the album entirely. Why? Because he knew what was coming. He didn't want the two artists who already bodied him individually to team up and deliver a tag team hit that could completely wreck his image. And let's not forget, this ain't just rap beef anymore. Drake's in the middle of a legal war claiming defamation and reputational harm. So how's he out here dropping subliminal disses while also suing people for dissing him? And it's a full-blown contradiction, and fans are calling it out loud. Fans are not letting this one slide. One tweet hit hard. You can't cry in court and threaten people in your lyrics at the same time. It's one or the other. That quote's been bouncing all over social media, and the timing couldn't be more brutal. Meanwhile, Pusha T and Kendrick, silent. Not a word from either of them since Chains and Whips dropped. But that silence, it's loud. Fans are calling it the calm before a second storm, especially with rumors swirling about a deluxe edition of the Clips album, one that might feature another Kendrick verse aimed straight at Drake. And just when it looked like things might settle down, nope. Now there's buzz about a leaked demo that allegedly features both Kendrick and Pusha T going even harder at Drake. Word is, the track was considered too controversial to officially drop. If that's real, this whole thing's about to blow up again, bigger than before. Now everybody's watching and asking the same question. What's Drake gonna do next? His album Iceman is on the way, no official release date yet, but Drake's been teasing that it's coming sometime this year. The hype is building, but the pressure, even higher. Let's rewind for a second. After Kendrick clearly came out on top last year, Drake tried to act unbothered. He dropped a laid-back collab tape with Party Next Door, and fans were thinking, okay, maybe he's done with the gangster role. Maybe he's going back to the smooth R&B lane. But nah, fast forward to now and Drake's back on demon mode. He's threatening people in tracks. He's flexing with guns in his music videos. He's looking more paranoid than powerful, and it doesn't stop there. Drake's been posting cryptic captions on IG, fueling more speculation that this Kendrick beef is far from done. One of the posts even read like a straight-up warning. Whatever's coming next, it's not gonna be quiet. Drake just dropped a cryptic message on Instagram, and it's got fans buzzing like crazy. He wrote, "I grew up non-confrontational and always treated this game as a sport where my pen won gold. But these days, the podium has been hard for all of us to ignore. I understand that this next chapter may leave you feeling uneasy, but I hope you see my honesty as clarity, not charity. That answers some questions, especially about the unanswered texts you've been sending me." Woo! That's deep, but also shady. Now fans are asking the real question, is Iceman about to be a full-on lyrical war? Is Drake lining up for a revenge arc, or is this just another moody vent session disguise? Either way, the tension is thick, and nobody really knows what energy he's planning to bring. The vibes are shifting, and everyone's watching. Could this be Drake's comeback moment? A return to bars, beef, and back-to-back smoke? Or is he just stirring the pot with poetic captions and emotional rollout tactics? Some think he's cooking up something lethal. Others are calling it another case of smoke and mirrors. Big build-up, but no real bite. So what do you think? Is Iceman gonna shake the whole game or fall flat under the weight of the hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear it all. This is Juicy Real, and trust, it's only getting crazier from here.
But you can't be thinking you're gonna go have plastic surgery on the Groupon.
Exactly.
Like you,
The
ain't no plastic surgery on sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And if it's on sale, 9 times out of 10, you're not supposed to get it from the person that's having a sale on liposuction. Don't do that.
Things just got wild in the Braxton family. And this time, Tamar didn't just stir the pot, she flipped the whole table.
Confessing that although I love my family, most of the time I don't like my family. Everyone in my family.
Take a breath.
Everybody. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. If they weren't my family, it wouldn't be my friend.
Her latest live stream turned into a full-blown public roast of her own sister, Toni Braxton, and the internet cannot believe what she said. Tamar went on camera and straight up claimed that Birdman dumped Toni because of a botched BBL that allegedly smells bad. Can you believe that? For weeks, she's been dropping subtle shade, mocking Toni's new look, poking fun at her romance, and hinting that Birdman's been distant for reasons too personal to say out loud. But when she threw that BBL accusation into the mix, everything exploded online. People are losing their minds trying to figure out if Tamar's telling the truth or just trying to humiliate her sister for clout.
That is your man, as you call it. That is your man. He knew it was a situation with me and you. And he was down. He was down to play op games. I wouldn't take nothing like that serious, my love. That ate my ass, and I sent him on his way. It wasn't, you don't want me to expose how you were saying that you kicked her out and she went back to her mother's house. Not Mrs. Braxton. Not Mrs. Singer with the sold out tour that JR also told me was flex. It was cap. It was she flexing. She don't have no sold out. Between me and you was his exact words. The tour not sold out. He said you was messy. He said you went back to your mother's house. He told me a lot of things that he shouldn't tell a stranger. I just met this man less than a week.
Some fans say she's just being messy for views, while others think there's real tension brewing behind closed doors. And Toni? Oh, she's not staying quiet this time. Word is she's furious and gearing up for a major clapback that could expose way more than Tamar bargained for. This family feud is getting uglier by the minute. If this keeps blowing up, we might be witnessing one of the wildest, most personal celebrity family feuds in years. Is this still Braxton family values or straight up Braxton family breakdown? The drama's so real it feels scripted. except it's not. When producers teased that this season would bring the heat, nobody expected this. Even the Kardashians might want to grab a snack and take notes, because this level of chaos is next level entertainment. Just when fans thought Tamar couldn't stir the pot any harder, she dropped another bomb, saying Tony secretly got a BBL. Yes, Tony Braxton with a BBL. That's not just gossip, that's a scandal with capital letters. Plastic surgery in Hollywood isn't new, sure, but what made everyone's jaws hit the floor was Tamar's shocking claim that Tony's BBL went so wrong it allegedly started to stink, and that Birdman almost walked out over it. What? That's not just shade, that's nuclear level messy. Tony, of course, isn't letting that slide. She's been shutting down the rumors, swearing she never got any body work done. In her words, Tony laughed it off saying, "Mduya Kai, don't you know that it's my booty? I love somebody." She's keeping her story tight, claiming the only thing she's ever changed was her nose, just because she didn't like how it looked. But fans aren't sure what to believe anymore, and this feud just keeps getting hotter. Tony's been open about a few of her cosmetic tweaks. She once talked about her slimmer look and even admitted to getting a boob job. In one interview, she said, "For a girl who just scored a record deal with two of the biggest names in the business, I actually felt very lonely. I've been wanting to change my nose for years. I wanted it to be less broad, but because of how I was raised, I struggled with the idea of changing my body." Then she added, "And of course, I later got my boobies done. I'd always been built like a gymnast on top, thunder thighs below." She even laughed once, saying, "I wish I would have had lipo on my inner thighs. I've always hated them." So according to Tony, the nose job and boob job were it, nothing more. But let's keep it real. A whole lot of fans aren't buying that story. People online have been calling major bluff, claiming she's definitely had liposuction and maybe even a BBL too. And when you compare old school Tony from her 90s days to her more recent viral pics, the difference is hard to ignore. Back in the day, she had that classic natural fine look, but now her waist is super snatched and her hips are popping like never before. Fans are convinced it's giving strong BBL energy, and the internet won't stop talking about it. Soon enough, social media detectives went wild, zooming in, doing side-by-sides, and insisting Tony might not be telling the whole truth about her glow-up. Some say she's just keeping her beauty secrets private, while others think she's full-on hiding the truth to protect her image. But here's the twist. Just when everyone thought the rumors were fading, Tamar came crashing back into the spotlight and confirmed it all herself. That's when the real chaos began. Reports are saying Tamar's been out here spilling everything about Tony's supposed secret BBL, telling people her sister's been trying to pass it off as her natural body. But the real question is, why would Tamar do her own sister like that? Insiders claim this might all be payback, because the tension between the Braxton sisters has been boiling for months. And now, things have exploded into a full-on family mess. Apparently, before Tamar could even hit record on that explosive episode, Tony's legal team swooped in and dropped a cease and desist, shutting the whole thing down before it even aired. But you know Tamar, she wasn't about to take that quietly. She clapped back online, saying that if anyone tries to claim her sisters turned on her to protect the family, that's a total lie. And just when fans thought this was all one big misunderstanding, Trina and Tawanda jumped in saying they had no clue about any of it. Turns out, Tamar really did get that cease and desist, meaning Tony handled everything solo. No backup, no warning, just straight silence and legal threats. Now the internet's in full detective mode. People are asking why Tony's working so hard to stop someone named Ashley from speaking out, and what exactly went down behind those closed doors. Some fans swear Tony's just being petty because she's still beefing with Tamar, while others believe she's covering for someone else entirely. Either way, that cease and desist move sent Tamar over the edge. She swore she'd get revenge, and that's when she went public with those wild jaw-dropping BBL allegations that have everyone talking non-stop. You'd think Tamar would have stopped for the sake of sisterhood, right? Wrong! Clearly, You don't know Tamar Braxton. When it comes to drama, she doesn't hit the brakes. She hits the gas. Instead of backing off, she doubled down and claimed Tony's BBL allegedly went so bad that Birdman nearly filed for divorce over it. Yep. According to Tamar, that's how messy things got. It's starting to look like she's on a full-blown mission to drag her sister's name through every headline she can. Now fans can't stop talking. Timelines, TikToks, and gossip blogs are flooded. Everyone's wondering what's really going down behind closed doors at the Braxton house. And just when you think this family feud can't get any uglier, it somehow does. Things are spiraling fast, and people are starting to connect the dots. Maybe Tamar's spilling all this because of something deeper, something personal. Remember when Tony allegedly filed for divorce from Birdman just 2 days after saying, "I do"? Yeah, that wasn't a rumor. That actually happened. Reports say Tony supposedly separated from Birdman just 48 hours after their wedding, and less than a month later, she went full throttle, filing official papers claiming their marriage was irretrievably broken with zero chance of saving it. That revelation shocked everyone, especially since this wasn't their first messy breakup. You might recall their big split back in 2019, but the twist came later. By 2023, insiders claimed Tony started reaching out to Birdman again. Allegedly, she was sending flirty messages, dropping subtle hints, and making it clear she was ready for another round with him. Now fans are asking, was this real love or just part of the Braxton chaos playing out in public once again? Birdman once joked that being back with Tony felt like the breakup never even happened because she was that determined to slide right back into his life. At first, Birdman tried to play it cool, saying he'd moved on, focusing on his own grind, and wasn't looking back. But Tony wasn't giving up that easy. She kept showing up, reaching out, and reminding him of all those unforgettable moments they once shared. And guess what? Those old feelings Birdman swore he'd buried deep started creeping back up. Before long, her persistence paid off, and boom, the two were back together like nothing had ever gone wrong. After dating again for about a year, they shocked everyone by tying the knot on August 8th, 2024. Fans were cheering, thinking this was finally their happily ever after. Until, out of nowhere, Tony hit the world with a divorce filing that left everyone speechless. That's when the whispers started. People claimed Tony might have had other motives, especially since rumors were swirling about her having some serious financial struggles at the time. The internet couldn't handle it. Drama everywhere. Some fans accused her of chasing Birdman's money, while others defended her, saying she'd been through too much to not look out for herself. But when reports dropped that Tony was allegedly trying to walk away from the marriage with a $160 million divorce payout after being married less than a month, the internet completely lost it. Comment sections went wild, gossip pages crashed, and debates broke out over whether that number was fair or downright outrageous. Even 50 Cent jumped in on Instagram, cracking jokes like only he can, saying, "Now watch, women are gonna say, well, if you stuck around for 16 years, you'd want to be paid for it too." That comment sent everyone into a frenzy, and the drama just kept getting louder. That 50 Cent comment blew up the internet. Social media went crazy. Tony was getting dragged left and right, with people calling her a gold digger and saying she was just in it for the money. But now, with all these new whispers about Birdman supposedly wanting to bounce because of that rumored botched surgery, some fans are starting to see things differently. They're saying maybe Tony's wild reaction wasn't about greed. Maybe it came from anger and straight up humiliation. If there's even a sliver of truth to that surgery story, then maybe throwing out that massive $160 million number was her emotional way of hitting back. Insiders say Tony eventually cooled off and even called off the divorce completely. One source even claimed she filed first only because she found out Birdman was about to beat her to it, and she didn't want to be the one getting left. She wanted to stay in control, save face, and keep her pride intact. I mean, let's be real. Being married for 2 days isn't exactly something anyone wants on their resume. But apparently, the couple managed to work things out. Word is, Tony handled those health rumors quietly and made sure everything was fresh, fixed, and fine. So, for now, things seem calm, at least on the surface. But the truth? None of this tea would have seen daylight if Tamar and Tony hadn't blown up on each other in that explosive fight. And you know Tony, she's no pushover. She doesn't take hits without firing back. According to insiders, she clapped right back at Tamar, dragging her hard over her own messy situation with her ex-fiancé, JR. Oh yeah, the shade went both ways, and it got personal fast. And when I say Tony hit the mark, I mean she hit it hard. Because not too long ago, Tamar herself admitted that her ex-fiancé, JR, didn't just cheat. He allegedly stole her jewelry and gave it to his side chick. Can you imagine that level of disrespect? But hold up, it gets even wilder. Reports claim JR was also allegedly messing around with Tommy Lee while still dating Tamar. Now that's a whole different kind of scandal. Tommy didn't hold back either. She bragged online that JR didn't cut off those other women for Tamar, even after Tamar came at her publicly. And if that wasn't enough, Tommy went on to say that JR had been out here spilling Tamar's business to anyone who'd listen, just running his mouth like it was open mic night. Total chaos. The internet couldn't handle it. Fans were stunned. Gossip pages went into overdrive, and everyone was questioning Tamar's choices. People were like, how could she stay after that? The drama was so loud, it felt like a reality show playing out in real life. And here's the craziest part. Insiders claim JR allegedly did all of that within just 1 week of meeting Tommy. 1 week. That's not just messy, that's pure mayhem. And it left Tamar humiliated in front of millions. JR knew exactly about the tension between Tamar and Tony, but that didn't stop him one bit. He jumped right into the mess, got involved, and started running his mouth, spilling Tamar's private business like it was nothing. That's wild behavior. Honestly, Tamar should have dropped his so-called white chocolate self and walked away the moment he started acting shady. But come on, this is Tamar. She doesn't take advice from anyone, even when the writing's glowing red on the wall. So she kept doing her thing, posting about her man, her man, her man. Except the problem was, he was also everybody's man. The internet couldn't stop clowning. And then came the heartbreak. JR allegedly dumped her out of nowhere, leaving her spiraling all over Beyonce's internet like we'd never seen before. It was messy, it was loud, and it was everywhere. For a while, people moved on, thinking the saga was done and buried, until Tony resurrected it in the most savage way possible. During a shady little "isn't this you" moment, Tony threw that whole JR situation right back in Tamar's face. And it hit hard, especially since Tamar had just tried to come for Tony's relationship with Birdman. Now it's clear, these sisters don't just argue, they go to war. When the Braxtons bring drama, they bring it heavy and public. But here's the real question everyone's asking. How far are they willing to take this feud before someone completely loses it? Because if this tea keeps spilling like this, it's not staying on TV. It's about to blow up everywhere. Now with the sisters trading blows like heavyweight champs, the Braxton family drama has officially reached a boiling point. Insiders say things behind the scenes are way worse than what fans are seeing online. We're talking group chats blowing up, family dinners canceled, and everyone picking sides. Tamar's out here defending her every move, while Tony's quietly plotting her next power play. It's not just gossip anymore. This is turning into a full-on family war. Word is, Tamar's been hinting that she's got even more tea to spill, something that could end all rumors once and for all. Meanwhile, Tony's been keeping it classy in public, but allegedly gearing up to drop her own bombshells that could flip the whole story upside down. The tension's so thick, you could cut it with a knife, and fans are glued to every update like it's a primetime reality show. And it's not just them. Even the other Braxton sisters, Trina and Tawanda, are feeling the pressure to pick sides. Some say they're trying to play peacemakers, but others think they're secretly backing Tony behind the scenes. Either way, the whole family's on edge and nobody's sure what'll happen next. What's even crazier? Insiders are whispering that producers from Braxton Family Values might be trying to cash in on all this chaos with a tell-all special, featuring never-before-seen clips and shocking confessions. If that happens, this feud won't just stay online. It'll be front and center for the whole world to see. At this point, it feels like the Braxton drama isn't just a story. It's a full-blown saga. And if the rumors about what's coming next are true, this family storm is just getting started. This whole thing is about to explode in real life. No question about it. Because let's be honest, there's no drama like family drama. And the Braxtons, they always take it 10 levels higher than anyone else. Every twist just gets messier. Every clapback hits harder. And at this point, nobody knows what these sisters might do next. Whatever's coming is guaranteed to leave everybody completely shook. If you've been hooked on this wild Braxton saga, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, and share it with someone who lives for drama like this. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to Juicy Reel, because the next chapter in this story is about to get even crazier. You seriously don't want to miss what's coming next.
We made love.
Who you made love with?
Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too.
Orlando Brown just dropped one of the craziest confessions the internet's seen, saying he and Drake were intimate. He straight up claimed Champagne Papi might actually be into men. That's a bombshell nobody saw coming.
And I know it's them. I'm not trying to be no dick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them my niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they bombs. They switch into the little mode, they go morphing and shit. They bombs my niggas.
I said morphing. So hold on, wait.
Them my bro.
So you smashed them? You smashed them when it was girl?
I didn't smash anything.
So how you know
we
that?
made love. We made love.
But before anyone starts pointing fingers, let's rewind this messy story. Because when it comes to Orlando, things are never that simple. See, this isn't his first time shaking up Hollywood. After Sean John got locked up last year, Orlando went on a full-blown rampage, spilling tea.
Who you made love with?
Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too.
Cat Williams.
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's that? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher.
That had the whole industry clutching their pearls. He started dropping names like it was nothing, talking about DL rappers and A-list celebs who, according to him, were living double lives. And get this, he didn't just talk about randoms. He specifically mentioned huge names like Busta Rhymes, Bow Wow, Usher, Sean John, and even Terrence Howard. People couldn't believe it. The internet exploded with reactions, half of them calling him crazy, and the other half saying, wait, what if he's telling the truth?
Wayne is my favorite person to work with, though, because it's just, ooh, little Wayne, he's just too good.
You gotta give Wayne the love.
He's just too good.
You could literally feel the tension online. Fans were digging up old clips, interviews, anything that might connect the dots. And knowing how Orlando moves, you can never tell when he's just talking wild or dropping a hidden truth that everyone else is too scared to say out loud. And honestly, a lot of people are actually believing Orlando's claims, as wild as they sound.
You owe me 60 bands, and you have to perform the song right now in the crib. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? I'm giving you an out. I'm not Baby, I'm not Boosie. You don't owe me no 2 rags, 5 rags. You owe me 60 bands. I'm playing the song right now. You ready? I need a full... You don't owe me no money right now. I swear, I need a full performance though. The real shit though. I'm serious.
You just gotta be ready.
Why? Because for years, Drake's been giving off those low-key, Dael and fruity vibes that fans can't stop whispering about. Folks been side-eyeing his moves for a long minute, and now that Orlando's talking, everything's starting to click for some people. Social media's been on fire. Blogs are dissecting everything. Every lyric, every photo, every comment he drops online gets picked apart like a crime scene. It's like fans are running their own investigations, trying to figure out what really goes on behind the flashy lights and fame. And who could forget that track, Girls Want Girls, with Lil Baby? The moment it dropped, the culture went crazy. That one line.
I don't know about the rumors, right? What, they say, nah, I ain't gonna say that. I heard about that though, but I ain't about to say that. But
What was
I ain't
it?
about to say on
You and Diddy? You and Diddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Diddy.
You and Diddy what?
No.
They said he was.
Him and Diddy what?
I'm just saying the rumor.
I ain't never heard this one.
They said he was.
How you knew that?
Now I'm about to Google because I ain't never heard this one.
Yeah, say that you a lesbian, girl, me too, had everyone's jaw on the floor. Fans were like, hold up, what does he mean by that? Suddenly, TikTok, X, and Reddit were flooded with theories, memes, and deep dives about whether Drake was secretly saying more than people realized. Then came his 8th studio album, For All the Dogs, and things only got messier. The song Members Only had that line, feel like I'm bi, 'cause you're one of the guys, girl. And once again, the internet lost its mind. Listeners were debating nonstop, asking if Drake was quietly revealing something about himself between the bars. Even when Drake tried to explain it later, the streets weren't buying it. People said he was just trying to backpedal after realizing how loud the lyrics sounded. And now, with Orlando Brown stirring the pot again, fans are convinced there might be way more to Champagne Papi's story than he's ever admitted. Now don't get it twisted, Drake's music is fire. Nobody's denying his hits run the game, but the street's been talking, and they've noticed something different about him lately. A certain feminine energy that shines through everything he does. From the lyrics to the flow, even the way he moves. People say he's been dropping quiet hints for years without even realizing it. His music videos, his public appearances, his whole vibe on stage, it all got fans wondering if there's more to Drake than what meets the eye. Some folks think he's expressing a softer, more personal side, while others swear he's sending coded messages through his art. Whatever it is, the internet can't stop watching, replaying, and analyzing every second. And then came that viral manicure video. Oh man, the internet went wild. Seeing Drake showing off his freshly painted nails had social media split down the middle. Half the fans said it was just self-expression, but the other half, they were giving him the biggest side-eye imaginable. Comments flooded in, people talking like, this ain't the Drake we used to know. And if that wasn't enough, the way he acts around other artists keeps adding fuel to the whispers, especially his soft-spoken admiration for Lil Wayne. He once said, Wayne is my favorite person to work with though, cause it's just, ooh, ooh. Lil Wayne's just too, and left it hanging, giving fans all the room they needed to speculate. The tone, the closeness, the energy, people couldn't help but say something feels deeper than music between those two. One user didn't hold back, writing, Drake is the type of guy to be gay. Another dropped a comment that hit even harder, saying, it's